Yo, what's going on? Thank you for clicking my video. Today's video, we're going to watch French saddest stories or something like that. I'm not quite sure. But anyways, before I start, I just want to say I do not own, the rights to this video if that wasn't obvious already. But I just feel like I should mention that. And also, I do apologize for the bad quality of my camera. Just bear with me. I'm just starting out. Sit back, kick your feet up, whatever. That's what I'm doing right here. And let's just hurry jumping right into the video, man.
Hello, dear friends. Welcome to Crime Story Diaries. Today we'll be examining a terrifying case, so I invite you to watch the video. Don't forget to leave your comments and likes. Chambon-sur-Lignon is a small town in the Auvergne region of eastern France, known for its picturesque nature and tranquil life. With a population of around 2,000 residents, it is nestled amidst forests and hills. The main landmark and center of community life was the Collège Fenol. Founded in 1938, the Collège Fenol quickly became a prestigious private educational institution, equivalent to a boarding school. It welcomed students from all over France and abroad, mostly from wealthy families. The college was renowned for its philosophy of peace and nonviolence. As well as its openness, there were no fences or security guards on the premises. Most of the town's residents were connected to the college in one way or another, working there or studying. The Fenol was the pride of the town, a symbol of quality education and progressive values. However, behind this idyllic facade lurked problems that would later lead to tragedy. Mathieu Moulinas was born on December 30th, 1993, into the family of...
She kind of looks like a little boy in that picture, don't she? Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell, man. But anyways, let's continue.
Dominique and Sophie Moulinas. His father worked as a social science teacher, and his mother was an accountant at a clinic. Mathieu was the eldest of 3 children in the family. At first glance, Mathieu's childhood did not raise any particular concerns. His parents described him as a calm, pleasant, and inquisitive child. According to them, he did not exhibit any behavioral problems at an early age. However, as he entered his teenage years, the situation began to change. Mathieu started showing signs of rebellion and disobedience. He began dressing in a Gothic style, openly propagating a defiant lifestyle, disobeying his parents and teachers. At school, he often bragged about his hacking abilities and use of illegal drugs. Mathieu became withdrawn and poorly adapted to society. He began stealing medicine at school to feed his addiction. His grades deteriorated to the point where he was suspended from classes twice. Among the least harmful violations was his regular viewing of adult films, including on the school computer. Mathieu's behavior became increasingly problematic, and he began having run-ins with the law. However, his parents seemed unaware of the full seriousness of the situation, considering it only a manifestation of a difficult teenage period. On August 1st, 2010, when Mathieu was 16 years old, an incident occurred that should have been an alarming signal for everyone. The victim was 15-year-old Julie, a neighbor and longtime acquaintance of Mathieu. That day, Mathieu invited Julie for a walk in the woods near their homes. He said he wanted to return 10 euros he had borrowed from her earlier. Unsuspecting, Julie agreed. In the woods, Mathieu suddenly attacked the girl. He had prepared in advance, taking shoelaces with him. Mathieu tied up Julie and bound her to a tree. Then he raped her, threatening her with a knife.
Whoa, wait. I gotta stop this. That is crazy. It seriously is crazy. That's the one thing I've always wondered, is that you can have a child, right? And then you can raise the child with love and give him attention or her attention, all that good stuff. But still, you don't know for certain. They may still turn out like this. And the craziest part about all of this is that I wouldn't say scientists, but a couple doctors who actually study people like this, they have said that under, I think, MRI or anything, something with the brain, like a scan of the brain, that they seem normal, just like you and me. You get what I'm saying? And that's the craziest part, because like you can give them everything that you need, everything they need, and they can still want to do things like that. And it's just weird and sad. And then it could be said for the same thing with a child who grows up in a abusive household and come out even better. It all depends on the person, of course, but I've always found that interesting. But anyways, let's continue.
Julie was lucky during the attack. Her cell phone rang. It was the girl's mother, who sensed that something was wrong with her daughter. Mathieu, confused by the call, got scared and let Julie go. Later, the girl recounted that if it hadn't been for that call, she could have become Mathieu's first murder victim. Julie found the strength to tell about the attack, and Mathieu was arrested. During the interrogation, he confessed to the crime, even showing the knife he used to threaten the victim. However, his behavior during the investigation was cold and indifferent. He showed no remorse or empathy for Julie. Mathieu's parents immediately hired lawyer Isabelle Mimran. Their defense strategy was based on the idea of rehabilitation and a second chance for the young offender. They insisted that Mathieu might be ill and needed treatment, not imprisonment. 4 psychiatrists worked with Mathieu during his 4 months of pretrial detention. Their conclusions were contradictory. Some specialists noted the inadequacy and unpredictability of the teenager's behavior. However, one of the psychiatrists, Dr. Egowet, concluded that Mathieu was fully rehabilitated and posed no threat to society. In his report, Dr. Egowet attributed Mathieu's actions to the influence of video games and drug use, rather than serious psychological problems. This caused public outrage, as such an explanation was considered too simplistic for a serious crime. Based on this assessment, the judge made the decision to release Mathieu from custody on the condition that he undergo therapy and move to another region. This decision sparked significant controversy in society and was later recognized as a fatal mistake. After his release, the Molinas family faced the problem of finding a new educational institution for their son. They contacted about 20 different schools, but were refused due to Mathieu's past. Eventually, they found refuge at the Collège Quenol. The decision to accept Mathieu into the Svenol raises many questions. The college was experiencing serious financial difficulties at the time, on the verge of bankruptcy. The management was trying to keep the institution afloat by lowering admission requirements and accepting almost all applicants. The college principal, Philippe Bovin, initially claimed he was unaware of Mathieu's past. However, it later emerged that he had been informed, but decided to give the teenager a chance.
That's crazy.
Mathieu's father personally spoke with the principal, assuring him that his son's past problems were related to an unfortunate breakup and a girl's revenge. Accepting Mathieu into the college also had an economic justification. Each student brought in 13,000 euros per year to the institution. In the face of financial crisis, the management was interested in any new students. At the same time, 13-year-old Agnes Marin was admitted to the Collège Quenol. Her parents, Frederick and Paula, decided to transfer their daughter from a Parisian school where she had, in their opinion, come under bad influence. At her previous school, Agnes had behavioral issues. She was caught smoking marijuana on the school grounds and skipped classes several times to hang out with friends. Despite this, Agnes had good grades in all subjects and was eager to get an education, dreaming of becoming a director. Agnes' parents believed that studying at the Quenol would benefit her. They hoped that a change of environment would help their daughter get rid of bad habits and focus on her studies. Agnes was a kind and cheerful girl who easily got along with people. At her new school, she quickly adapted and made friends. Although she was noticed smoking, it was not considered a serious problem at the Quenol. Many students smoked, and the teaching staff did not pay much attention to it. Agnes' parents worked in the suburbs of Paris and came to visit their daughter every 3 weeks. They had no idea that their decision to send her to the Quenol would have such tragic consequences. November 16, 2011, began as a normal day at the Collège Quenol. After classes ended, all the students had lunch in the cafeteria as usual. In Chambon-sur-Lignon, it was Wednesday, a day when boarding students had free time after lunch. Usually the teenagers gathered in groups and went for walks to the town center, which was about a 15-minute walk from the campus. That day, Agnes also joined a group of friends who headed to the central square. According to the college rules, students had to return to the campus by 4:30 p.m. Most students arrived on time or with a slight delay. However, Agnes was not among them. Since Agnes was one of the youngest students, the college management took her safety seriously. Her disappearance was immediately reported to the teachers, who, without hesitation, contacted the police. After the gendarmes arrived on campus, several search teams were formed, which included students, teachers, and law enforcement officers. They combed the town and surrounding areas, hoping to find the missing girl. By midnight, everyone was forced to return to the dormitory. It was getting dark, and the students needed to prepare for the next school day.
It's crazy how everyone thinks, right? Including myself. I'm pretty sure you too. How everyone thinks like, oh, that can never happen to me until it happens to you. You get what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure she thought just like that too. But it's just crazy though. It's crazy how like there's so many situations, so many, cases like this. And to top it off, some cases don't even get solved at all. And also think about all the times before the world was civilized, right? Think about all the cases similar to this, right? Someone's just chilling in their tent or in their cabin and they get kidnapped or X, Y, and Z. You get what I'm saying? The list goes on. It's just crazy. Just think about all the stuff that we don't know that happened throughout humanity on this planet, similar to this. Before police, before detectives and stuff like that. Because if this is what's happening with police, with detectives, now imagine without, that's even scarier. Anyways, let's continue.
Unfortunately, Agnes was not found, and no traces of the schoolgirl were discovered. The gendarmes continued their search in the surrounding areas, but to no avail. Investigators questioned students from the girl's closest circle. Eventually, they were approached by Agnes' friend named Estelle. She was with Agnes on the day of her disappearance. According to Estelle, they met in the main square in the town center. The girls walked around together and parted around 2:30 p.m. Estelle did not see Agnes again. Such a meeting was a common occurrence and there was nothing unusual about it. However, on November 17th, when the gendarmes spoke to Estelle again, her story changed. Now she claimed that during their walk around town, Agnes twisted her ankle. Because of this, they lingered in the square. Estelle could not accompany her friend because she was in a hurry to get home, where her parents were waiting for her. According to her, Agnes did not ask for help and seemed to be going to meet some boy. This story seemed suspicious to the police.
You're meeting a boy with
They could
a
not
twisted
understand
ankle. That's
why
crazy.
Estelle did not immediately report a certain boy who could have been an important lead in the investigation. Eventually, Estelle admitted that she had lied because Agnes was going to do something bad and had asked her not to disclose any information about her. Trying to understand in which direction to search for the girl, investigators found a mention of a young man Agnes was supposedly going to meet in her correspondence. It turned out to be 17-year-old high school student Mathieu Moulinas.
Oh, shoot.
When the police met with Mathieu, they noticed fresh scratches on his hands and face. Classmates confirmed that these scratches had appeared on the day of Agnes' disappearance. Mathieu explained that he had abused drugs that day, and while the entire campus was walking around town,
Drugs is going to give you scratches on your face, bro? Like, really? Like, come on, bro.
had overdone it a bit and fallen into a blackberry bush, where he had badly scratched himself. Witnesses reported seeing Mathieu.
All right, now he's just scraping at the bottom of the barrel for that. Like, you fell in a bush, bro. Like, come on, a bush is not that rough. You get what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, you're reaching now. You get what I'm saying? You're reaching, bro. It's crazy work.
Mathieu emerged from the woods near the campus around 5 p.m. when everyone else was already in the building. This was surprising, as it was unclear what he could have been doing there. When Mathieu was questioned about this, he suddenly became enraged and lost his composure.
There you go.
All of this aroused serious suspicions among the
think?
gendarmes. During the interrogation, Mathieu gave contradictory testimony. At first, he claimed that he had only seen Agnes in passing in the campus corridors. Then his version changed. He admitted that he had indeed met with Agnes on that fateful day and was going to go with her to look for hallucinogenic mushrooms in the woods around the college. According to Mathieu, he and Agnes did find mushrooms and consumed
They were looking
them.
for a good-ass time.
In addition, he smoked marijuana, which intensified the effect. Mathieu claimed that after that, He lost control of himself and fell into a blackberry bush, and then became so detached from reality that he could no longer tell where his companion had gone. Despite Mathieu's unconvincing explanations, the police decided to check the spot in the woods that he had described. On November 18, 2011, a large-scale search operation was organized involving helicopters, divers, and search dogs. What awaited the law enforcement officers shocked everyone involved in the search. Agnes' body was found in the woods, mutilated and partially burned.
Damn.
The girl was found half naked with obvious signs of rape. Her clothes were partially removed and pulled up.
Wait. Her body was mutilated. Mutilated. I can't say that word. Mutilated. There you go. Cut off and burnt and raped. What? Bro, that's just sick. That's disgusting. Wow. No one should ever have to die like that, let alone a woman. Damn. That's crazy.
But not in a way that could have happened from falling into bushes. The medical examination revealed even more disturbing details of the brutal attack. The torturer had methodically and viciously beaten the girl.
She's pretty, but he beat her too, on top of everything we just listened to. What is wrong with him? He's literally like a monster, like literally. It's just, what the hell? No one in their right subconscious, no one in the right conscious, I would say, will ever do that. That's disgusting. That isn't bad. That's just pure evil, especially to a woman.
So severely that her left arm and both shins were broken. After raping her, the attacker inflicted 17 stab wounds to her chest and face. Defensive wounds
As
were
if that
found on
wasn't
Agnes'
enough.
body, and fragments of the attacker's skin remained under her fingernails.
What?
Agnes' parents were immediately informed of the horrific outcome of the search efforts.
Yo.
Frederick and Paula, who had come to town and were actively searching for their daughter by posting leaflets with her photos, were now faced with every parent's worst nightmare.
That's crazy.
After Agnes' body was discovered, investigators returned to interrogate Mathieu. Now, faced with irrefutable evidence, the suspect quickly confessed to the murder. Mathieu described his actions in detail. According to him, when he and Agnes found themselves in the woods, he suddenly attacked her and decided to immobilize her. To do this, he used his favorite toy, which had been with him since childhood, a yo-yo. It was at this moment that the struggle began, and Agnes scratched her attacker's face and hands. But he was significantly bigger, older, and stronger, so he easily overpowered the schoolgirl. After raping and murdering Ang, Mathieu used a canister of gasoline that happened to be with him. He set the schoolgirl's clothes on fire and then simply walked away, hoping the body would burn to ashes. During the interrogation, Mathieu behaved in a cold-blooded manner and even played with the same yo-yo he had used to tie the victim's hands.
That's crazy.
This detail shocked the investigators with its ruthlessness. The news of the brutal murder of Agnes Marin shook not only Chambon-sur-Lignon but all of France. The quiet provincial town found itself at the center of national attention. The local residents were shocked that such a tragedy could happen in their community. Many could not believe that Mathieu, whom they knew as a student at the prestigious college, could commit such a horrific crime. The media quickly picked up the story, highlighting every detail of the investigation. Particular attention was paid to Mathieu's past and the college's decision to admit him despite his previous attack. The case sparked a wider-ranging discussion about the effectiveness of the juvenile justice system, safety in educational institutions, and the need for more thorough background checks on students with troubled pasts. Agnes' parents, Frederick and Paula, became symbols of the tragedy. Their pain and demands for justice resonated with the hearts of millions of French people. They actively spoke out in the media, calling for changes to the system that allowed such a tragedy to occur. The Collège Queneau found itself under a barrage of criticism. Many accused the institution's management of negligence and seeking financial gain at the expense of student safety. The reputation of the once prestigious educational institution was irreparably damaged. After Mathieu's confession, the investigation focused on gathering and analyzing evidence in preparation for the trial. Forensic expertise played a key role in this process. In Mathieu's dormitory room at the college, items that looked very dirty were found, which aroused suspicion. According to eyewitnesses, it was in these clothes that he emerged from the woods on the day of Agnes' disappearance. The clothes were sent for laboratory analysis. An analysis of Mathieu's blood revealed no traces of hallucinogenic mushrooms or other drugs, disproving his initial version of events. This confirmed the investigators' suspicions about the untruthfulness of the suspect's testimony. Skin fragments matching Mathieu's DNA were found under Agnes' fingernails. This became important evidence of the struggle that took place between the victim and the attacker. Investigators also focused on searching for the murder weapon, the knife used to inflict 17 stab wounds on Agnes. Despite thorough searches, the weapon could not.
You see right there, 17 stab wounds after you attacked her, after you raped her, after, I think it was before he cut her up and burned her. That's just disgusting, bro. He's literally a monster. Like, I'm just lost for words. How can someone at a young age even think like that? Even want to do that to another human being, let alone a defenseless girl? Wow.
Be found. This indicated that Mathieu had enough time and presence of mind to dispose of important evidence. Additional testimonies were collected from students and staff at the Collège Queneau. Many described Mathieu as strange and withdrawn, confirming the picture of his problematic behavior. After his arrest, Mathieu underwent a full psychiatric assessment. The results of this examination differed significantly from the previous conclusions made after the attack on Julie. The psychiatrists who worked with Mathieu after the murder of Agnes diagnosed him with paranoid and schizoid personality traits. They recognized him as extremely dangerous to society, but at the same time found him sane and able to stand trial. During the assessment, Mathieu exhibited a complete lack of empathy and remorse. He often behaved aggressively toward the specialists, even making threats when he lost his composure.
Wow.
By his own admission, he had repeatedly felt a certain impulse that pushed him to commit terrible acts. Experts noted that Mathieu seemed to derive pleasure from the suffering of others. He stated that after murdering Agnes, he had been in a state of euphoria for a long time and felt a craving for similar crimes.
Wow.
It became evident that if Mathieu had not been detained, he would likely have killed again.
What makes
These
people
new findings
like that, though?
contrasted sharply with the previous assessment that allowed Mathieu to be released after the attack on Julie. This raised serious questions about the competence of the previous experts and the effectiveness of the system for assessing risks to society. The trial of Mathieu Moulinas commenced on June 28, 2013, and spanned a duration of 10 days. The case elicited considerable public outcry and media attention. Under French law, minors are typically tried in closed proceedings for serious offenses. However, the victim's family insisted on partial transparency during the hearings to shed light on the core issues and ascertain who was truly culpable for the events that transpired. Despite their pleas, the court denied the request for a partially open hearing. During the trial, shocking details regarding the crime and Mathieu's prior behavior were unveiled. It became evident that the supervision he received at the Sevenol College was catastrophically inadequate. It was revealed that he had never met with the psychologist assigned to him. Mathieu's demeanor throughout the trial was cold and indifferent. He acknowledged the facts, but exhibited no remorse whatsoever.
Yeah, there's something
His
evil
apathy
within
towards
this
the
boy,
suffering
man.
of the victim and her family left the attendees
Something
in
like
shock.
almost like supernatural.
Prosecutors
or
advocated for the harshest possible punishment,
That looks like The
considering the
Rock.
brutality of
Dwayne-
the crime
Dwayne Johnson.
and Mathieu's prior history. The defense, on the other hand, sought to emphasize the psychological state of the defendant and the lack of appropriate treatment following the initial incident. On June 28, 2013, the court rendered its verdict. Mathieu Moulinas was sentenced to life imprisonment for the rape and murder of Agnes Marin, as well as for the assault on Julie. This marked only the second instance in French history where a minor received a life sentence. Mathieu's defense contested such a severe sentence, particularly given that the defendant had not undergone adequate treatment following the first incident. The attorney filed an appeal, and the case was set to be re-examined in September 2014. The retrial proved to be even more agonizing for the victim.
Wait. I just want to add something real quick. In cases like this, it's just my opinion. In cases like this, where the evidence is clear, right? And he owned up to it that he killed somebody in this horrific manner, I don't think they should be allowed a lawyer. Like, what is there to really defend at this point? You get what I'm saying? Like, why would you want to defend you as a lawyer, for example? You as a lawyer, why would you want to defend someone who did this for no reason at all, other than he just wanted to do it? You get what I'm saying? Like, how can you possibly sleep at night wanting to defend something like this? And why should they even get a lawyer? For what? You get what I'm saying? At this point, you should just, neutralize them, as I would say it, to put it lightly. But you get what I'm saying. That's the only answer, really, because this is just pure evil. It's pure evil, man. There's something supernatural, perhaps, whatever, that was alongside with him, or something, man, because it's crazy.
Victim's family, largely due to Mathieu's behavior. During the second trial, he spoke significantly more frequently and with greater confidence. His words were clearly not those of a remorseful individual. It appeared he relished the suffering of the deceased's family,
so what's the
who
whole
were
point?
forced to relive the horrors once more. Mathieu confessed, derived pleasure from witnessing the suffering of others.
You see?
He
So
stated
what's the
that
whole
after
point?
murdering Agnes, he experienced a prolonged state of euphoria and felt an inclination towards such crimes.
You see? So why would you want to defend it?
The jury upheld the verdict.
Or anybody?
The defense subsequently decided to file another appeal, deeming the sentence excessively harsh. This appeal was rejected.
The sentence is harsh, but not the act that you
Mathieu
did.
Moulinas's life imprisonment was ultimately confirmed with mandatory psychiatric treatment.
No.
The case of Mathieu Moulinas had a profound impact on the French justice system, particularly regarding the treatment of juvenile offenders and the assessment of recidivism.
Bring back the guillotine, bro. Bring it back, bro.
On February 7th, 2014, Agnes' parents filed a complaint against the state for gross negligence. They believed that due to the errors of the psychiatrist, the judge, and the entire system, a dangerous criminal was allowed to roam free, leading to the attack on their daughter. The Paris Supreme Court ruled in favor of the victim's family. For criminal negligence, it was decided that compensation of $185,000 would be awarded. However, the parents' aim was not financial restitution. They sought to highlight the inadequacies of the judicial and law enforcement systems and to advocate for reform. This case sparked widespread discussion regarding the effectiveness of rehabilitation programs for young offenders and the necessity for more thorough risk assessments upon their release. Many experts criticized the excessive reliance on optimistic psychiatric evaluations without considering the severity of prior offenses. Questions were also raised about the accountability of educational institutions when admitting students with criminal backgrounds. The situation at Sevenol College underscored the need for more rigorous vetting and monitoring of such students. Sevenol College, once a prestigious educational institution, struggled to recover from the scandal surrounding Agnes Marin's murder. The school's reputation was irreparably tarnished. Many parents withdrew their children, and new applicants were reluctant to associate with a place marked by such tragedy. Financial difficulties, which had existed prior to the incident, became critical. Investigations revealed serious deficiencies in the college's administration. Notably, it became known that the director was aware of Mathieu's criminal history, yet still permitted him to enroll, driven by financial considerations. Ultimately, in 2014, Sevenol College was permanently closed. It simply went bankrupt, particularly in light of the scandal surrounding the admission of a potentially dangerous...
Low-key though, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to go there and ghost hunt. That'd be kind of sweet. Hopefully the volume's okay. I'm still testing out a few things, so hopefully the volume's okay, you know. But anyways, yeah, I kind of low-key want to go there and ghost hunt.
As criminal among its students. The closure of the college symbolized the tragic conclusion of this story, illustrating how a single ill-considered decision can lead to catastrophic consequences not only for individuals, but also for entire institutions. The situation for the Moulinassa family following Mathieu's conviction was exceedingly complex. They found themselves under intense public scrutiny, as many believed that their protection of the criminal had contributed to the tragedy. Despite this, Mathieu's parents continued to support their son. They appeared on nearly all major television channels in France, engaging with every possible media outlet.
All parents are going to
Dominique and
support the
Sophie
kids, of
Moulinas
course. You get what
even
I'm saying?
authored a book about their family's life, in which they described how their son still felt no remorse for his actions.
That's crazy.
In their public statements, Mathieu's parents insisted that their son was mentally ill and required treatment rather than imprisonment. They claimed they were unaware of how dangerous he truly was and were merely attempting to help their child socialize and integrate into society.
But
However,
what makes
these
people
assertions
like that?
provoked outrage among many,
You get what I'm saying?
particularly
What makes people
Agnes
like that?
Marin's family. Critics contended that Mathieu's parents should have arranged for his involuntary treatment in a psychiatric facility following the first incident, rather than simply sending him to a school far from home where he was effectively unsupervised. The tragic death of
that was like
Agnes
the
Marin
dumbest thing to
profoundly
do.
impacted French society and became a symbol of the urgent need for reform in the justice system and child protection. Agnes was laid to rest in Paris on November 26, 2011, the day she would have turned 14. The farewell ceremony drew numerous attendees who came to support the family during
Wait, she
this
was 14?
difficult time. In memory of Agnes, several initiatives were established. Her parents founded an association dedicated to raising awareness about child and youth safety, as well as providing support to families of violence victims. A memorial was erected in Chambon-sur-Lignon in remembrance of Agnes. Each year, on her birthday, a commemorative ceremony is held, gathering local residents and visitors alike. Agnes' story has been the subject of several documentaries and books that explore not only the tragedy, but also the systemic issues that led to it. These works have fostered extensive discussions about reforming the juvenile justice system and the necessity for better protection of children within educational institutions.
That's crazy.
For Agnes' family and friends, the pain of loss remains acute even years
I
after
thought she was
the
a lot
tragedy.
older.
They continue to fight to ensure that Agnes' memory endures and that similar tragedies do not recur. As of today, Mathieu Moulinas, now 30 years old, continues to serve his life sentence. His incarceration is characterized by a strict regime and mandatory psychiatric treatment. Mathieu's conditions of confinement align with standards for particularly dangerous offenders. He is under constant surveillance, and his interactions with the outside world are severely restricted. Mathieu undergoes regular psychiatric evaluations and participates in therapeutic sessions. Mathieu's psychological state remains a focal point of scrutiny among professionals. Reports indicate that he still exhibits no signs of remorse or empathy towards his victims. The treatment aims to correct his behavior and reduce the risk of recidivism, although the effectiveness of these measures remains questionable. The prospects for Mathieu's release are exceedingly slim. According to French law, individuals sentenced to life imprisonment may apply for parole after serving a minimum of 30 years. However, given the severity of Mathieu's crime and his psychological profile, the chances of such a release are virtually non-existent.
I hope so.
Mathieu's parents continue to visit him once a month. In their book, they express hope that one day Mathieu will see the light and be sufficiently rehabilitated to re-enter society.
Yeah, that's not happening,
This
man.
stance provokes significant outrage within the community, particularly among the families of victims. The case of Mathieu Moulinas and the murder of Agnes Marin served as a catalyst for substantial changes in the French child protection system and the treatment of juvenile offenders. One of the key reforms involved strengthening the requirements for psychiatric evaluations of juvenile offenders. Such assessments are now conducted with greater rigor, involving multiple independent experts. Special attention is given to evaluating the risk of recidivism. more stringent regulations regarding the admission of students with criminal backgrounds into educational institutions have also been implemented. Schools are now mandated to conduct thorough background checks on such students and ensure appropriate supervision. The monitoring system for released juvenile offenders has been significantly enhanced. They are now subject to regular checks and mandatory psychological support for an extended period following their release. This tragedy has also influenced public consciousness, drawing attention to the issue of youth violence and the importance of early diagnosis and treatment of mental disorders in adolescence. While these changes cannot bring back Agnes or rectify the past, they represent a crucial step towards creating a safer society and preventing similar tragedies in the future. The story of Agnes Marin and Mathieu Moulinas remains a painful reminder of the costs society pays for underestimating danger and neglecting problematic youth behavior. Traditionally, thank you for watching and remind you that it...
So anyways, that's the end of the video. It's just crazy, sad, disgusting, and just pure evil, man. I don't understand how someone at a very young age can do that to someone else, like I said in the video. And also, just my opinion, my belief, I don't believe someone like this should have a lawyer, or let alone continue to be on this earth, because something as heinous, disgusting, as terrible as this, it's like, come on, bro, you get what I'm saying? And then they are still trying to fix him, right? Like, if he's 30 years old and he still doesn't feel any remorse, what makes you think anything will change? You get what I'm saying? Let alone he spent years in jail already, or prison, and he still doesn't feel anything. Like, come on, bro, it's really, really telling already. I don't know, man, it's just crazy. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think, all that stuff. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in my next video, man.
Trembled.